Hello everyone. In this chapter support and moving in living organisms, inshallah we'll talk about the skeletal system in man. But first, do you ask yourself before how we can move? And what the main thing that support the whole body? What are the bones that we have in our body? And what the cute skeleton? Okay, that's all about our lesson right now. So, at the end of this lesson you should be able to recognize the concept of support in man, recognize the structure of the muscle, and drawing the vertebra. So, let's get started. The human skeletal system. Firstly, the skeleton of man consists of 206 bones. What? 206 bones. And each bone has a shape and size that's suitable for its function. But here, we have the two main parts of the skeletal system. The first one called axial, this axial part, and the second one called appendicular, this appendicular part. What about the axial that consists of three elements? Vertebral column, skull, thoracic cage. What is this? Okay, this is the vertebral column. This is the vertebral column. Okay, and this is the skull. You surely know it. This is the skull. And there is the thoracic cage. What? That thoracic cage that protects the heart here. Okay? Okay. What about the appendicular? It consists of two parts, the girdles and forelimbs. The forelimbs, yep, we have the forelimb and the hind limb. So, it's the forelimbs, that two and that two. What about the girdles? We didn't know the girdles. Okay, let me tell you. How can the upper limb join to the vertebral column? You should say by the girdles. So, you should say by the girdles that connect the upper limb to the vertebral column. So the girdle we have two types, the particular and pelvic. This is the particular girdle and this is the pelvic girdle. So let's get started to explain the vertebral column. Here in the vertebral column we have 33 vertebrae, and these 33 vertebrae classified into 5 groups, and each group of this has its one name and his one size and his one number. So, let's get started. The first one called cervical. What? Cervical. The first one cervical here in the neck region, and we have the 7 vertebrae that's moderate in size in the neck region, and followed by the next group that called thoracic. From its name, thoracic. So, it's in this thoracic, that chest region, that consists of 12 vertebrae and large in size in the chest region, and followed by the lumbar. Okay, focus on this. The lumbar is the biggest vertebra in the vertebral column that but consists of 5 vertebrae, only 5, but large in size, the biggest one. Here in the abdominal region. In this abdominal region, we have this 5 thoracic vertebrae. What about the scalar and coccyx? In this 3, cervical and thoracic and lumbar, in the 3 we had the 3 vertebrae. But in the scalar and coccyx, we had that fused, that fused. But in this 3 are free. What about the skull? The skull consists of 5 vertebrae and was flat and bored. How we can do this? In this lumbar vertebra, we have the scalar ones, and this consists of 5 vertebrae, flat and bored. What about the coccyx? The coccyx is the smallest ones, and that's just 4 vertebrae, infused, surely fused, and that was the smallest. This is below the skull. Okay, that's all about the 33 vertebrae. But in these 3 groups, first 3 groups are free, but in these 2 are flat and fused. That's fused, free. So that's so simple about the vertebral column, but it's so important. You should keep it, you should join it. Okay, what about this? The vertebra. What? The vertebra. You should know each vertebra consists of what? Okay, firstly, the anterior thick part. This anterior thick part called centrum. Called what? centrum. And the centrum laterally attached to these two transfer processes. These two transfer processes. That's number 1 and that's number 2. And posteriorly attached to the bone ring, spinal ring. What about these two? This is called anterior articulating process, and that is the posterior articulating process. And what about this canal? It's neural canal. And what about this? Carry a bone process directed downwards called neural spine, and the neural ring surround the neural canal in which the spinal cord extended to be protected. To be what? To be protected. That's all about that main vertebra. You should know it, you should keep it. Okay. Who's next? Okay, the skull. The skull, we can call this the cranium. What? The cranium. It's a bony case. Surely we have that bony case that consists of bones. But there's a posterior part and the anterior part. What about the posterior part? It consists of 8 serrated bones attached firmly to each other to form a cavity. What is the function of this cavity? Okay, let me ask you. There's here a brain? Yeah, there's brain. So this cavity have a function to protect this brain. To protect what? To protect this brain. Okay, what is that? The base of the skull. There is a forming magnet through which the spinal cord is connected to the brain. That's so important, focus on that. That's all about the posterior part. What about the anterior part? This is the anterior part. Include the face bones and the 2 jaws, that upper jaw and lower jaw, the 2 jaws. And also include the position of sense organs. What about the sense organs? The ears and eyes and nose and surely the teeth, the upper one and lower one. That's all called anterior part. That include the face bones and the 2 jaws. Like by the posterior bones, that about 8 bones, serrated bones attached firmly to each other to form the cavity. That's all about the skull. It's so simple but so important. Who's next? Oh, the thoracic cage. It's so important, guys. Focus with me. And this cage, we shall be able to know that slightly conical, not triangle, square, knob. It's conical in shape. Conical in shape. Like connect that at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 pairs. These 12 pairs connect entirely to this part, which called sternum. This called sternum. But not the 12 pairs that connect to the sternum. Only the 10 ones. But here we have 2 pairs that don't reach to the sternum. Why? Because it's too short to reach it. So it's not reach the sternum. And these 2 parts called the floating ribs. What? It's called floating ribs. Why? Give a reason it's called the floating ribs. Because these 2 lower parts are so short and don't reach to the sternum. That's all the thoracic cage. It's so important. Who's next? Oh, the particular pectoral girdle. Before we said that we have 2 types of girdles, the pectoral one and the pelvic one. So, let's explain the pectoral girdle. That consists of 2 identical holes. That side is the same of this side. So, it's 2 identical holes. And this side, we have the scapula and clavicle. In the scapula, the triangle dorsal bone. Its inner ends toward while the outer end its pointed head is a process attached to the clavicle. So it's so important. This is scapula bone that has the triangle shape and the clavicle bone that same bone. And then we have a cavity, and this cavity called glenoid cavity. Focus on that, so important, guys. That called glenoid cavity. This glenoid cavity here between the scapula and the clavicle. And we are the side, the same of the scapula and the clavicle. So we should say 2 identical holes. That side, the same of this side. That's all the pectoral girdle. Who's next? The forelimb. The pectoral girdle that produces the forelimb to the whole body. we have the upper arm and lower arm. If I said upper arm, you should say about the humerus. What? Humerus in the upper arm. And the lower arm, we don't have 2 bones. In the upper arm only we have the humerus. But our lower arm, we have the 2 bones. First one called ulna and the second one called radius. How can I differentiate between them? Okay, the radius is so small in size between the ulna, and the radius can rotate around and affect the ulna. That's about the lower arm, whose next is followed by these 10 bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 bones called corpus. Called what? Called corpus. It's so important. But these 8 bones are divided to 2 rows. That's the first row and the second row. 2 rows by 8 bones. That's all about that corpus. And the corpus followed all the bone. What? The bone. This bone about the corpus. What about the bone? Here we already have our bone. The bone consists of 5 long thin bones. There's 5 long thin bones that are called metacarpals. What? Metacarpals. Followed by the bones of 5 digits, which is made of 3 bones. That 5 digits made of 3 bones, but 1, 2, 3. These 3 bones called phalanges. What? Phalanges. Except the sum, that which consists of 2 phalanges only. Thus 4 have 1, 2, 3 phalanges, but the sum only have 2. So that's all about the bone. It's so clear. Clear? Okay, clear. The next one, the pelvic girdle. We said before that we have 2 types of girdle, and we have the pectoral girdle and the pelvic girdle. And the pectoral girdle, we said that we had the 2 identical halves. And surely here we have also the 2 identical halves, but fused at the very side that region called pelvic symphysis. Public septum. And now focus with me in this part. It's so important, guys. In each half consists of a dorsal bone called ilium. Called what? Called ilium. And each which we attached to anteriorly and ventrally to a bone called pubis. Called what? Pubis. And attached posteriorly and ventrally to a bone called ischium. Called ischium. Bone there is a deep depression called acetabulum. It's a deep depression called acetabulum, into which the head of the tight bone femur fits to the forming the hip joint. Forming what? The both joint. It's so difficult, but so important. You should focus it. You should keep it. Who's next? The hind limb. Wow. The pie bone, which is supported by a bone called femur. That's the main bone in this hind limb, called femur. In the chicken that we have the 2 bones like the forelimb, but the 2 bones called tibia and fibula. But focus, the inner one called tibia and the outer one called fibula. That's inner and the outer. That 2 bones in this part. But here we have the kneecap, we have patella. That's so important, so important. The patella in this kneecap. And the other consists of 7 board elongated shape called tarsals. What? Tarsals. And followed by the 5 bones called metatarsals. Focus on this. Turtles and followed by metatarsals. Not the metatarsal and the turtles. No. Turtles first and followed by the metatarsals. And about that forelimb, we have also in the hind limb the 5 tools. And the made of 3 bones called phalanges. That's 3 bones called phalanges in the end of that. Except the big toe that had only 2 phalanges. Not 3 like this 4. No, except the big toe that which has 2 phalanges only. It's so related to the forelimb, but so easy. So we have the end of our lesson now. The conclusion that we had studied the axial system about the vertebral column and the skull and the thoracic cage, and also we talked about the appendicular system, about the girdles, the 2 types of it, and the 4 limbs that we have. And that's all about our lesson. Now you can check yourself and test yourself with some questions. The first one called Put True or False. The thoracic slightly triangle in shape connected posteriorly to the 12 thoracic vertebra. Focus. Yeah, it's really 12 thoracic vertebra, but it's not triangle, it's conical, so it's wrong. Excellent. The biggest vertebra in the vertebral column is lumbar. Focus. Yeah, it's correct phrase, because it's lumbar is really the biggest vertebra in the vertebral column, so it's correct. Who's next? Choose the correct answer. First one is, the thoracic cage consists of pairs of ribs that don't reach the sternum. 12, 10, 2. Yup, excellent. It's 2 pairs that not reach to the sternum. The second one, the foot bones which consist of 5 bones called tarsals, phalanges, metatarsals. You should focus on that, so important. Excellent, it's metatarsals. It's called metatarsals. Excellent, you're so perfect. The next one, the most important question we have in our exam. Give a reason. The vertebral column is considered the main axis. Focus on that, so important. Okay, let me tell you the answer. The vertebral column is considered the main axis because it attached to the upper end of the skeleton with the skull and also connected to the thoracic cage, and the forelimbs through the shoulder bones and lower limbs through the pelvic bones. That's so clear? Okay. And these were some questions that we can test yourself by yourself in your home and answer them. You can take a screenshot of them now. And that's all about our end. And good luck. With Nafham, we can learn more easy. Bye bye.